And then looks him in the eye and he says, "Look, Batman."
Wow.
I'm like, that guy raised you and took you in, so maybe don't be like that, because the vibe you're giving off is just kind of pathetic,
really unpleasant,
really
just juvenile.
Yeah,
juvenile in the act of trying to be mature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a perfect summation of Big Damn Cast. Welcome to another episode. I am Christopher Mr. Mistopheles.
And I am the old Rumple Matt Teaser.
That's being made into a film. That was announced this weekend.
With James Corden.
Well, there you go. But Ian McKellen as Old Deuteronomy. See, I always picture Old Deuteronomy as a sort of a
Old
larger...
Deuteronomy is enormous.
Yeah. I mean, didn't Blessed play him at one point?
Yeah.
So, like, you don't really... James Earl Jones, I think, played him in the States at one point.
That would not surprise me.
But then, like, Taylor Swift... And I'm just, why make a movie of Cats? It doesn't make sense.
Because Cats is shit.
It doesn't have a plot. It's the only reason...
It is a collection of poems that were written into a collection of songs.
I've seen it live twice, because I was taken to see it live twice. I do not care for Cats.
I've got a few friends who've been in various productions of Cats. It's still shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good.
But the only reason really to see it would be to see the dancing and the choreography live. That would only be the appeal.
Which is impressive.
So for it to be pre-shot and probably not choreographed like the stage show would be, what's the point? I don't know. What's the point in anything? Well, I'll tell you what the point is. To listen to bollocks and nonsense that doesn't matter, because one day we're not going to be here anymore. That's right. Comic-Con happened this past week.
It did.
We got shit to talk about. We've got many things in our annual Comic-Con roundup. But first, unfortunately, there is a giant of the Comic-Con and geek culture world who left us, who genuinely just left this planet and hopefully went to somewhere where Superman, like, the Superman lives, exists, and he can see the finished version in the alternate heaven universe, or wherever we go, wherever we die.
Just somewhere better.
John Schnepp, king of the Sweaties, is gone. Many people know him because of things like Schmo and Collider. He was a journalist and a reporter for those guys, but primarily he was one of the main directors and writers on Metalocalypse. It's so hard to say.
It's great.
But I know him mostly because of his appearances on early movie fights, on the YouTubes, but also because of the Death of Superman Lives, What Happened documentary, which was a massive undertaking that he and his then partner and eventual fiancée came together to go, right, Superman Lives, the movie that was meant to happen in the 90s that went through about 1 billion different iterations before it was killed off.
Yeah.
What the hell happened? And he tracks down everybody involved that he could do. The 4 screenwriters involved with it, including Kevin Smith, John Peters, the producer, Tim Burton. He's the first person to finally sit down with Tim Burton and interview him about this movie he was meant to make. It's the film that unearthed the footage of Nicolas Cage in the costume tests. He was that passionate about the stuff that, you know, we chat about every week, like, you know, geek culture and these stories and this escapism, that he went, that one was fascinating. I want to know what happened, and he freaking went for it. Amongst other works, but like that was the one where you went, yeah, this is a good guy who's interested in stories and stories about stories.
Off the back of that, he was commissioned to do a produce series.
Yeah, they put together 6 episodes for the show Bible together, and they'd started filming stuff for it.
In a statement that announced his death, his fiancée Holly Payne mentioned that she's hoping to complete it and release it later this year.
Good. Because again, it's looking at other movies that disappeared after lengthy production periods and stuff. So his curiosity and his passion for this stuff is going to live on. He passed away, I believe. A stroke was involved. He was hospitalised, and then the complications after the fact. Is that right? He
had a blood clot removed from his left carotid artery, but they couldn't stop the bleeding.
Right, and did that lead into okay.
Irreparable and according to this is from the Holly Payne's fiance. Irreparable and catastrophic damage was caused to both hemispheres, and all brain activity ceased. His sister Deborah and I had to make the difficult decision to take him off life support. There was no possible way for him to recover. Yeah,
they stayed with him for the last near 24 hours and just apparently sang to him and spoke to him and hugged him, and then so they got to sort of make their peace. But that is tough, man. That is
really shit, tough. Really awful,
and especially for those two, because they were best friends and colleagues, and then partners, and then romantic partners and they were going to get married, and it's just like, to have that torn from you, that's nuts. And so it's a big loss to the geek community, but obviously, our thoughts are with the family and friends of John Schnepp at this time. Depressing side note, even more than the news itself, continuing the upset of it all, due to the American healthcare system.
Yeah, where you still have to pay them if you fucking die.
Yeah, the family are looking at over $150,000 worth of medical bills and expenses, which at the moment they cannot afford to pay, or even begin to pay off a chunk of. So after this podcast goes up, we will on Friday retweet the GoFundMe, because they've got a page for donation. So if you can chuck anything toward that, even if it's just like a couple quid, would obviously be most helpful for them. Especially if you ever enjoyed any of John's work, the least you could do is give his family a little leg up in this rather distressing time, which is already upsetting enough, and then this medical bill stuff's on top of it. So. John Schnepp, goodbye, man. Only 51, wasn't he?
51.
51,
which is fucking no age nowadays. It's ridiculous.
In the world of geek culture before the weekend, before San Diego kicked off proper, there was another shake-up.
Oh, yes, this
is a big moral quandary and conundrum of really unpleasant
it's
and
not
also
a conundrum,
ridiculous
though, is
proportions.
It's not a conundrum. It's very clear what's happened here.
Oh, it's very clear what's happened here, but it does raise many other questions. I mean, I'll be honest. For those who don't know the basics of this, James Gunn, film director and writer, is a very outspoken detractor of Donald Trump. He referred to him as like a fake president and things like that. And as is his right as an American, the First Amendment allows him freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not freedom from consequence, as the story will eventually lead on to about other things.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But because he's very anti-Trump, a lot of heavily pro-Trump and especially violently pro-Trump supporters online attack and harass James Gunn quite regularly. This past week, one individual, what's his name? It's Michael...
Basically, Mike Cernovich, who is a First Amendment lawyer, and basically he's been a far-right ringleader and organiser of harassment campaigns for years. He's the guy who whipped up the whole Pizzagate furor, wherein he was trying to convince everyone that Hillary Clinton and a bunch of her staffers were
secretly mining a paedophile ring and smuggling
out of a Pizzagate basement. And
a man who was quite openly advocated for rape and rape culture in the past as well.
He's boasted of being a rapist.
Yeah.
And quite openly talks about rape. He said one particular tweet that sticks in my mind is saying, have you ever tried to rape a girl without using force? Date rape doesn't exist, which is fucking despicable. God. That is just the worst bullshit.
So this absolute
basically
cancer of a human being decided, I don't like James Gunn back-talking our president.
So he's gone back and he's dug up some tweets that James Gunn made back in 2008. James Gunn back in 2008 was a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
like
he was a creative person. He was a director and writer at that time. He'd been working with Troma. He made Tromeo and Juliet.
Tromeo and Juliet, for fuck's sake. That's a trashy movie.
It is. Slither, which is pretty great homage to B-movie, but again, it is a gross, it is an uncomfortable movie that's meant to shock you. Super is again a brilliant movie, but it's a shocking movie and it's very uncomfortable. His entire shtick back then, it seemed, in terms of the presence he wanted to put out there, was as a shock jock. Someone who wanted to freak you out, make you go, "Oh, that's horrible."
I'm gonna be provocative by being offensive, and so he made jokes about rape and jokes about paedophilia, which, apart from being offensive, just aren't funny. And like. I can't defend.
But again, it's the thing is like humor's subjective, but the jokes are definitely.
Yeah.
It's a very small amount of people who enjoy them without
tasteless.
going, oh, that is not right. Yeah.
Tasteless and crass at the very least.
Yeah. It's perfectly acceptable to enjoy tasteless, dark, horrible, uncomfortable jokes, but
these just aren't funny and not good.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to turn around and defend James Gunn doing stupid things. However, not only has he publicly apologised for this and blog posts that he did with some transphobic content, not only has he publicly apologised for that, but it's clear from his work with Disney on the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, as both a writer and a director, and from the testimonies of people who've worked with him, as well as his brother Sean Gunn, also a filmmaker and an actor. He's not that person anymore. But what Mark Cernovich did, as he has done before, and it's a bad faith move of whipping people up into a moral frenzy by using a moral code that they don't hold to themselves.
Yes.
And getting someone ousted from their job.
So Mike Cernovich digs all this stuff up, compiles it, sends it to all the people he know will get outraged. Not necessarily because they think that the material's sick, but because they know, if we talk about this, James Gunn's going to be in trouble.
But
so then they
this is also Mark Cernovich, who has offered to advocate for paedophilia websites before.
Yeah. So
under the First Amendment.
So once again, not the person to ever get on his high horse about this. No. Not the person who deserves to be listened to about this. But all the same, a bunch of screen grabs of James Gunn's jokes and stuff, which have, again, long since been deleted and removed.
Yeah.
In 2012,
I don't think they've been deleted.
A lot of them have. I believe the
some of them
the tweets have, but the blog posts exist in archives and things like that.
But all that shit's archived regardless of whether it's deleted anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Like, once something goes up on the internet, it doesn't matter.
It's out there.
It's out there. It's staying there.
And in 2012, when it was announced he was directing Guardians of the Galaxy, people brought that up. They went, he makes really horrible, sick jokes. And he announced a public statement similar to the one he echoed last week, where he said, "I don't apologise for the jokes because they're jokes, and if I was apologising for having the right to, have a sense of humour and say stuff, then I'm saying that it's wrong for people to say what they like, which is going against the First Amendment. However, I do apologise to anyone who feels upset because of them, and I have made a concerted effort to move away from that and move on from that." Yeah. Now, in 2012, he said that obviously to be like, look, obviously I'm not bringing this sense of humour into a Marvel family Disney project. And he has long since proved that.
Look at the central thematic arc of both those Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It is literally about a man-child in a state of arrested development becoming more mature, accepting,
the Guardians
responsible.
Movies are about people becoming better people and growing and developing.
If we do not allow for people to become better and move past their mistakes, then we take away any reason for them to even attempt to do so. And don't get me wrong, if he was a child abuser, if he was a rapist, that shit that you can't really move past in the same way as you can making some shitty jokes at other people's expense a fucking decade ago. There's definitely degrees here. But if you fire James Gunn from Guardians, and let's be clear, I'm not concerned for James Gunn's career. He's going to be fine. Yeah. He's well off. He's going to work again.
It might take a little while, but someone is going to give him a chance.
He's going to be alright. I am concerned that this sets a dangerous precedent for Disney to be so spineless as to capitulate to what is essentially a right-wing smear campaign, not of any genuine moral concern, but they just want to spoil people's
This isn't like Mothers of America going, we are concerned.
This is literally...
This is a man who has been described as a freaking neo-Nazi.
He is, at the very least, a rape apologist, and if he is to be believed, by his own admission, a rapist.
Yeah. So, this rapist comes forward and puts other stuff out there, and Disney react within less than 24 hours and fire James Gunn. And it's important to note, it's not Marvel. Marvel have not fired him. Disney have fired him from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's now unclear whether or not his script will be used. The script was finished as of 2 weeks ago.
The wording they used, I believe, was they've severed their business connections.
Right, but that depends on whether the script and director's arrangement is different. It could be that they bought the script and that exists now. And what they would do is they would get another writer to go through it, do different things with it, and then it would be a shared writing credit with one writer above the other, and they'd have to say story by James Gunn.
Get Rhea Perlman to do it, so then she can steal work back off him.
Oh,
don't think I've forgotten that. I'm not forgiving him for that. He's not getting off for that. But he didn't deserve to be fired for this.
Directorial and going forwards, he was going to be in charge of planning with Marvel and Kevin Feige the future cosmic projects for the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
So that's gone.
It's unclear as to what degree the cast and crew of Guardians 3 are going to stand by him as well. But
however, they've all dropped... Well, one has been very open.
Dave Bautista has been very vocal about his support for James Gunn and his desire for him to be rehired. Sean Gunn also has come out strongly in support of his brother.
And said, my brother made some fucking horrible jokes.
My brother's an idiot.
He's a dick for making those, but look at his story, look at his growth, look at the fact that he back then went, this is not me anymore.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm sorry if I've upset anyone, this is not me anymore, and then has proved it since.
You cannot...
And also Karen Gillan, Zoe Saldana, Pom Clementif, and Chris Pratt have, as of this recording, all tweeted or Instagrammed something that is very clearly pointing toward the issue and is implying that they stand by James.
Yeah.
Because they're saying, they've all essentially said a variation on, we love all our Guardians of the Galaxy family.
And it's...
And even Karen and Dave Bautista have said, we have more to say.
Yeah.
So, it's not going away yet. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. But, like you say, it's weaponizing morality.
And it's a dangerous precedent. Because it is people using rules that they don't play by.
Yeah.
The
same people who complained that Roseanne her show was cancelled and she was fired, saying, like, she made a joke. She made a very racist statement about several, but in this instance, a racist statement about someone who can see it and react to it and will be hurt by it.
And also...
who handled it with freaking grace and dignity. But, like, she made that statement whilst also making a family show for a network that's for family entertainment. A network that is, yes, ABC is primarily a bit more on the left side of things. However, they went, we will do a family sitcom. We will revive a favourite, and it will be partially, at the minute, like in terms of its story, about a pro-Trump family, or at least a pro-Trump protagonist.
Yeah.
And we're going to discuss that in the show. Because we
they got
that,
into it knowing that Roseanne Barr was very vocally right-wing and a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
And also known for being, at the very least, racially insensitive, if not out-and-out racist.
Yeah.
And this was a pattern of behaviour that has not shown any sign of improvement. If anything, it's gotten more and more vocal as she's gotten older.
So when her show was cancelled, it wasn't this left-leaning channel trying to silence a right-leaning voice.
No.
It was them reacting to the fact she'd been a massive racist. Now, Disney's statement about James Gunn is his thing expresses beliefs, points of view, and topics that we at the Walt Disney Company, refuse to be associated with. So they're obviously, they don't say it outright, but they're obviously speaking of the pedophilic jokes and stabs and material. They're saying, we don't want to be associated with that. If you genuinely believe that, and you weren't open to personal growth, why did you hire him in the first place?
There is no fucking way. There is no way on God's green earth, in this giant universe we live in, that fucking Disney, squeaky clean motherfucking Walt Disney was a Saint Disney, did not look at James Gunn's fucking online footprint before they hired him for Guardians of the Galaxy. There is no way they didn't already know about this.
I mean, Christ, when he was announced that he was hired, the main reaction was, horror director James Gunn hired to make Marvel movies.
He was best known for fucking Slither.
Yeah.
And
he was fresh. He was fresh off of freaking Super and everything at the time.
And fucking Romeo and Juliet.
They did not hire him because he wrote the screenplay for Scooby-Doo the movie.
No.
That's not why they hired him.
No.
They hired him because Kevin Feige and that team went, he's got a unique voice. Let's have a chat with him. Yes, this is going to work. Come on board.
Come and do our family movie. That dude who makes that movie where Ellen Page rapes Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Or fucking...
It's a brilliant movie. It is not a comfortable movie.
Fuck no!
But it's not meant to be. But
no.
Guardians shows a level of personal growth and a level of deftness and tact and definitely skill over telling these family-oriented stories that are about people and their emotions and personal growth. And yet this company are saying, well, no, we can't acknowledge his personal growth. We can't acknowledge that because he made jokes that don't jibe with our thing. Cool. Fair enough. I completely agree that Walt Disney Company do not want to associate with somebody who's made massively loud paedophilic jokes.
Company that's named after Walt Disney, he was no saint.
Yeah. Well, I mean, different level, different things, but absolutely. I mean, for Christ's sake, Disney are like, look, Song of the South, we want to refuse to acknowledge that it exists. Instead of doing what Warner Brothers have done and putting out, and some Disney releases prior, and putting out early material that has racially insensitive stuff that was a product of the time, and contextualizing it by saying, look, this is how it was.
Content warning on that shit.
Yeah. I think it's Disney cartoons and Warner Brothers, some collections where Whoopi Goldberg has done an intro because she's a big, like, historian's the wrong word, but like she's somebody who has like an
Proponent of
encyclopedic
preservation.
Yeah, and she has an encyclopedic knowledge of how black culture and African American culture in particular was shown and archived throughout American media. I mean, if you watch the documentary we recommended last year, if you watch The Problem with Apu, like briefly she's talked to in that, because again it's a different culture, different ethnicity, different background, but it's the same sort of context. If you know, you can present those things like that. Song of the South is a Disney movie.
Yeah.
A lot of talented people made it. It will probably never be home released ever, because it does unfortunately depict sort of late slavery era America and post slavery era America in a light that is
It's a straight up fucking racist movie. It's a racist movie.
Well, it's not made with that intent, but
it was made in a racist era.
Yeah. However, if you contextualised it and obviously didn't go, "Hey kids, watch Song of the South," if you went, "Hi, people who are fascinated by Disney and their film canon, here it is," fair enough. But Disney prefer to avoid even acknowledging or talking about it. They choose to bury it like it's some kind of horrible...
Because they're fucking spineless.
Yeah. Yet, the biggest ride in Disneyland Paris, the Magic Kingdom, and the original Anaheim Disneyland is Splash Mountain, which is based off of Song of the South.
Yep.
It's Brer Rabbits all over that shit. Like, it's so weird that they could be like, "Oh no, we covered that up. Saving Mr. Banks, people were worried that they completely ignore some of Walt's sort of real life stuff that they don't want to talk about. And to their credit, they touch on him being a massive smoker. When we first meet him, the door is open to his office early, and he's very quickly putting out a cigarette, and he's sort of hiding the ashtray and the thing. And you move on, it's like, okay, fair enough. But at the same time, they still do that whole thing of, "Oh no, he was fine, he was lovely, he was great." Yeah, he was innovative. He made a lot of people very happy, but that's not the whole story.
Yeah.
James Gunn has been innovative, has made a lot of people very happy. That is not the whole story.
No.
But would you rather go, "Put this evil demon man away, we don't want to see him ever again"? Or would you rather go, "Yes, but look at the person he's become"?
It's sending out a very clear message of, it doesn't matter how you improve yourself. If you've ever made a mistake, that mistake is going to damn you for the rest of your life.
And again, it depends on context.
Fucking hell. So,
and the thing in question, like,
pardon all rapists. Shit, no.
Yeah.
Rapists deserve to be punished. But don't. It's a similar thing with Trevor Noah recently, where
he made a joke when France won the World Cup.
Yeah.
He said, "I want to congratulate Africa on their World Cup victory," because of course a large majority of the French team
but also
are either from Africa or their families were Africans who were colonialized by the French years before. So it was a joke about that, and a French ambassador in America wrote to him and said, "This is disgraceful. How dare you take away the Frenchness of them? How dare you say they're not French?" And he was making that point, wasn't he, of saying, why can't they be both?
But also with Trevor Noah's having a thing where he's going down.
Oh god, he's been through two things at the minute. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, he's going to do an Australian and New Zealand tour, and he made a fucking ridiculous joke about Aboriginal women on one of his tours, 2013.
Prior, okay, yeah. So even pre-Daily Show,
and the clip was on YouTube, and it's just it's very in poor taste and very misjudged.
Yeah. But this is also 2013. This is late 20s Trevor Noah, who's still developing his style and developing as a person in that sense.
But what he did, instead of apologising for it and acknowledging it, he just took it off YouTube.
He should have acknowledged it.
Yeah.
Even if he took it down, he should have acknowledged it.
Yeah, which is the main problem. Not saying that you can't move past that, but you need to confront these things and head on, which James Gunn absolutely has done. But we're still holding him to account for it. And again, I'm not excusing what he did. Fucking terrible things to say. Stupid, wrong-headed. Why would you... The kind of thing where if you were to show that to me as something you were going to tweet out, I'm like, dude, do not tweet that.
Yeah.
That is going to fucking crash and burn you.
Yeah.
If you'd have tweeted it out last week, fucking fire that motherfucker. Because look at where he is now. But this is all about people bettering themselves. And people can't better themselves if we don't let them. And that's the precedent that this is setting.
Yeah.
And it's... Again, James is going to be fine. Guardians Galaxy 3 is probably going to get made. Almost definitely going to get made. maybe with James Gunn, maybe without. Maybe with the same cast.
Maybe with a different cast.
Who fucking knows? We'll see to what level the cast revolt is going. And there's already been a campaign backed by Dave Bautista with a petition with 200,000 signatures to
which I
rehire
believe
James Gunn.
Selma Blair either started or put out there.
Has been quite vocal about this as well.
Although she has since deleted her tweets about it.
Yeah.
But that could be a management decision or something.
Representatives
have gone, no, I'm taking that down, you're not putting that out there. So
I just think it's really short-sighted, isn't it, to do something last and absolutely sending
especially because of how quick it was. Like, within 24 hours. If it had been a week and then they'd come in and said, we've been talking about this over the week and we feel this is the best course of action, then at least I would have a little bit more... I would have a little bit more respect from them in the sense of, okay, you've weighed everything up and this is what you feel is the best course.
Yeah.
That's fine, but I still disagree with it due to the reason why it was brought up in the first place. However, the fact that it was so quick, it's like, wow.
And yet they're still going to
same thing out with Roseanne, but when you look at Roseanne, she has since still been going like, what?
Yeah.
What? It's freedom of speech. And it's like, but your freedom of speech was a racist remark and you're showing no remorse for it.
Yeah.
And whereas she's been doing it for like 20 odd years.
If anything, she's getting worse.
Yeah. Whereas Gunn did some stuff in 2008, went quieter over the years, apologised for it in 2012. And here we are 6 years later, and people are still saying, "Oh, that thing you did 10 years ago, you're a horrible person." Yeah. It's like, no, was a fucking misjudged person back then.
Quite possibly was a horrible person.
Could have been,
or a good person with a terrible sense of humour and poor judgment. Who knows? Yeah. But he seems to be a good dude now.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know.
Fucking ridiculous.
But it's sad because the last things he was tweeting out about before that was he was in a project that I think he was producing that was having a panel on Friday at Comic-Con. Yeah. As far as I'm aware, that panel did not happen. He, of course, didn't attend, regardless of whether it happened or not. And it just sort of added to the weird level... Well, put it this way. Marvel Studios, not Marvel, but Marvel Studios didn't have a presence at San Diego Comic-Con this year anyway. And I think they're more thankful than ever about that, really, considering
because people were giving shit to Disney. Because, like, within... couple of hours of this news breaking and the announcement going out, fucking Disney were advertising their Guardians of the Galaxy stuff at Disney Florida and like the dance off event and
Paris and everything.
Look how cool Gamora is in this tweet, and people are like, really? You really want to do Guardians of the Galaxy stuff now?
Yeah. Oh god,
it's just bullshit.
It's like Guardians hasn't been tainted, but to be like, see, it's business as usual, guys. It'll be fine. Your favourites are still here. Is missing the point of why people love those movies
and what's important about them on a metatextual level.
Yeah,
on a thematic level, why those films resonate with people beyond just being fun, colourful space movies with a talking raccoon.
Yeah.
But hey, they're still going to try and hit up Johnny Depp for another Pirates movie.
Well,
despite the fact that he allegedly beat his wife.
We'll get back to him in a bit. Because, gun or no gun, Marvel Studios or no Disney.
Barely any Disney, really, at this Comic-Con.
A train rolled into town and continued on rolling. Because it was San Diego Comic-Con.
The train kept rolling all night long. The train kept rolling all night long.
Train kept rolling, wearing a thong. Try and picture that. A train in a thong. It's got Thomas the Tank Engine's face. Now you're confused. But
Thomas the Flesh Engine.
Oh! Yeah, actually, considering their faces are different from... The whole rest of the train in Thomas looks like a train. And then they have this grey, fleshy face at the front. Yeah. Are they some kind of elongated creature inside that's all grey and fleshy?
Jim will paint it on Twitter. Did a flesh Thomas the Tank Engine. As a commission. It's very. I'll show you later.
I'm still amazed that they've kept that name. As an account.
I think his name is Jim. So what are you going to do? Also, it adds an extra edge of dark humour.
Yeah, and the paintings usually are quite dark.
It just means he'll never get hired by Disney, or he will get hired by Disney and fired 6 years later for it.
Hey-oh!
Doctor Who!
Hey! Doctor Who! Doctor Who! Hey! Doctor Who!
We finally got our first trailer.
We did!
A bunch of images, and...
We got our first proper series trailer for Doctor Who Series 11, and we still have no idea
Nope.
about anything.
It's all new. It's all new, Chris. New stuff.
New. Well, so the
new
Doctor Who panel
adventures,
took
new
place
friends.
on Thursday, I think it was. Yeah, it was Thursday. And what we've learned from the Doctor Who panel, from the Doctor Who trailer,
What you've learned, I haven't
is
watched
this.
the panel.
I've not seen the full panel, but I've read some transcript. And what we've learned so far is this. Visually, it has a different colour palette, and my god, the contrast has been turned up, and the saturation has been turned up, and it is vibrant.
It looks gorgeous.
They are on alien landscapes. We are seeing different planets very clearly in this trailer. And it could be that they've just, because they've done this before, it could be that they've just compiled together the 3 shots that they've got of these alien landscapes and put them in the trailer.
entire series.
But either way, the shot of them walking through the crashed rubble of that stuff on what looks like a giant sand dune, that looks like... It's like, fuck, this looks like a shot from The Force Awakens. It's like we're on a big planet, we're on a big desert area.
It's Planet of the Dead sequel.
Oh god. They find the Trivators, whatever they're called, walking around like, shit, there you are! The Rays are still trying to eat us! Oh shit, let's go! And then Big Finish make 8 box sets about it.
All starring Ian McNeice.
As Winston Churchill!
and
Derek Jacobi as the War Master.
The War Master.
Which is a clone of the War Master. The War Master is a clone of the War Master who went horribly wrong in Dark Eyes Volume 7.
And also featuring David Bradley as the First Doctor.
Yes.
David Bradley as William Hartnell as the First Doctor.
We were rewatching rewatch for me, first time for Lou, we were watching The Chase this weekend, and I've realised we need to stop harping on David Bradley just a little bit, because the First Doctor is like the bike of Doctors. Yeah. Everyone's had a ride. Because in The Chase there's that duplicate who's played by an actor who looks nothing like... They put makeup on him to make him look a little more Hartnell-y. And then there's a select amount of close-ups where they actually use Hartnell, and it's really jarring.
He is almost, but not quite entirely unlike William Hartnell.
What's the darling say? Completely indistinguishable. It's just like...
He is as unlike William Hartnell as it is possible to be without actually being... not William Hartnell. What?
Terry Nation couldn't write for shit.
No, he couldn't.
Oh, God.
I'm going to take my Daleks and I'm going to take them to the States and I'm going to make a series of my... No, Terry.
No, Terry.
No, Terry.
So, Alien Landscapes. It's a bit, again, it's vague. We don't really get to hear much, but we basically hear the Doctor just say, like, will you be my friends? And it's like, okay,
will you be my new best friends?
Will you be my new best friends? Which is really sweet. Lots of shots of a TARDIS trio, but a couple of shots that suggest that perhaps there's a couple of adventures where it's the Doctor and one companion or 2 companions. Maybe. Which is,
Listen, Graham's still waiting for his chips.
Yes, he is. Bradley Walsh couldn't make it to the panel, but there was a little video released of him pretending to be Jodie on set.
Oh, bro.
It was just really, like, while they were away, he nicked her coat, and he just went he goes into a trailer and then pokes her back out the door and sings a really crap cover of the theme tune.
Brill.
And it's just like, well... I can't wait for the world to see Bradley Walsh. Like, that alone is such a weird thought to me. That the world is going to get to know Bradley Walsh.
This strange, impish man. Apparently.
And will there be a reference to either version of The Chase in the show somewhere?
Apparently, tapings of The Chase are really, really fun to attend because Bradley Walsh is just a lot of fun.
Oh, they leave so much of it in as well. Like, the few episodes I've watched, there have been bits where they just tit around for 5 minutes and then they just go, right, okay, let's carry on. Apparently, he's planning to continue doing that whilst doing Doctor Who.
Yes, he's a very busy boy.
Which must mean that... Because they record like 3 or 4 a day.
He banks a bunch. Like, I think they do like a week's worth in a day. But
it is also on like 40 weeks of the year, so it's quite a lot.
It's on all the time.
Yeah, but, good on him. I think that's amazing. Because obviously, like, if any of our listeners, our stateside listeners, if you're like, who is Bradley Walsh? If you've watched the Sarah Jane Adventures, because I know it has gone out over there in some format, he was Bob the Clown. He's from Series 2 construct, and he's terrifying in that. He plays Mr. Spellman's the ringmaster, who is also Bob the Clown, who's also the Pied Piper of Hamelin, basically, and he's freaky in it, and it's cool. It's cool. So when they announced the casting, I was like, oh, it's another one of those Doctor Who traditions of actor plays a different role in the same thing, sort of. But
Bradley Walsh, 14th Doctor, you heard it here first. Oh,
who frowned me this face?
Who frowned me this face?
Oh god! But yeah, so that he didn't get to go, but the other actors were in attendance, and they're absolutely adorable and lovely. And the exec producer and Chris Chibnall, who's exec producer and showrunner and lead writer. It seems like Chris may have written, I think it's 10 episodes, isn't it? This series,
I think it is, yeah.
And I believe he's written 6 of them, was what was suggested.
Sounds about right.
The guest writers are, interestingly, a mix of people, both in terms of gender and background and ethnicity and writing background, as is the list of directors. So there's obviously been a very conscious effort to be more open and progressive, but at the same time, there's no sort of, there's no air of, anyone who was like, white and British, we've just sod off, or anyone who's like middle-aged and a man who's worked there before, we told them sod off.
Just mix that shit up.
They've just mixed shit up, which is good, because different perspective is what you need for a show that is based around it changing and feeling different.
Yeah, if you can be in a different place every week, then variety is good.
Yeah. Jodie hijacked the Her Universe fashion show.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool, which is a big, it's part sponsored by, what's it called? Hot Topic, that's it. It's part sponsored by Hot Topic, but it's a big charity thing. Yeah. It's about female empowerment and people. It's like a big fashion show, and it's sort of a mix of cosplay and fashion. And halfway through the event, for some reason, this woman just came down in a big grey coat with a hood over her face, strutted the catwalk like crazy. And have you seen any footage of that? Because halfway down the runway, some people obviously toward the front clock who it is, and the cheer just starts to ripple backwards.
Yeah.
Then she pulls the hood back, and it's just a standing ovation.
She had a Sonic as well, didn't she?
Yeah, she got the Sonic as well. Did some really OTT sort of model poses,
which
and
you
then
can
did an interview for 5 minutes.
Which you can now pre-order the toy for.
You can. It's already available because, of course, merchandise.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this series.
This is the first time I've really been jazzed for it in a while.
It just looks like it's being attacked.
And it's because we know sod all.
Yeah.
Although, one tidbit we have been told by Chibnall during SDCC...
Shivers!
No Daleks.
Yeah.
They are not making an appearance this sery, which puts some weird, murky confusion into the waters of the Nation Estate conspiracy.
The Nation Estate's going to take its ball and go home, and everyone's going to go, oh, well.
Or another deal's been reached. If indeed this thing exists, it probably does. Another deal's been reached where it's like they'll be the opener of the next series and we'll make a big fuss.
Yeah.
Or there's going to be more.
Which is what.
Or there's going to be some Dalek merch this year.
You need to give them a rest. New series merch,
but you do.
You need to give them a rest and then bring them back with a fanfare.
Yeah.
You do what they
did for the first 5 years, 6 years arguably, 6 years of the revival, which is. Find something new and interesting to do with them each time. And that made it so that when they popped up, it wasn't, here they go again. It's, oh shit! What are they going to do this time? Because Dalek was amazing, and then that wonderful, surprise of them being the finale of Series 1 was great.
Yeah.
No word from them, no word of them at all, nothing. Holy shit, Army of Ghosts cliffhanger.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Daleks of Manhattan, not the best two-parter in the world, but again... something different, and people still remember the look of that story.
It's not very good, but it's different.
Yeah, and then Stolen Earth Journey's End, Davros sort of revives it. There's New Supreme, the idea of Dalek Khan. It felt different and like it had evolved and changed.
Yeah.
And then Victory of the Daleks, again, a bit of a cop-out toward the end because the show then didn't do anything with the premise set up. But interesting, World War II Daleks.
Well, that's like the end of the Dalek arc. After that, they didn't really know what to do.
They're just around.
Yeah, but there's a definite...
They cameo in Series 6.
There's a definite progression to the Daleks up until that point.
Across Russell's era,
Yeah, which
absolutely.
just gets thrown out of the window.
So them going away, good.
Yes.
Now, of course, we want to see the new Doctor up against the Daleks, but make us wait for it.
Yeah.
Make us wait for it. Make it bloody brilliant.
Make me wait! Make me salivate!
I'm not saying this is guaranteed success, but, wouldn't be a bad move.
What's that?
Maybe have a chat with Rob Shearman about a new story. The dude wrote you one Dalek episode, nearly 15 years ago by the time they'll come back. Maybe let him have another go.
We'll see. We'll see if they don't pop up. Speaking of hoods...
Hey, nicely done.
They're making another Robin Hood movie because everyone's clamouring for another Robin Hood movie.
Yeah.
And this is the one with Taron Egerton and Jamie Foxx where it's medieval but everything looks a bit streety, almost. It's sort of like modern medieval. Like someone has a foldable crossbow, which is ridiculous. And everyone's got a bit of street patter. And it's shiny and slick, and
It's because in 2009, Guy Ritchie made a pretty decent Sherlock Holmes movie that was a little bit slick and a little bit more modern. but still in the original setting. So ever since, more people have been trying to do that,
including
Guy Ritchie.
It was a really successful formula when he applied it to the King Arthur myth, though. So wait, it wasn't. And I've learned from today that this movie shares 2 producers with King Arthur: Legend of the Sword.
Yeah.
So that probably explains a lot.
It's just...
I mean, it looks brighter. It looks cheaper than that movie. Because it looks like it was shot... It looks like a TV shot in studio drama in parts of this trailer. Like, it looks like a prestige BBC One series.
It's just, like... Why? I mean, I like Taron Egerton. I want to see him in more leading roles. But at the same time, like... I mean, for Christ's sake, we had a Robin Hood movie, like, 4 years ago with... Russell Crowe.
It was longer than 4 years ago, mate.
About 6 years ago, 7 years ago? It was a while back.
Longer than
that way. But again, it was like...
I think it's coming up on a decade ago.
It didn't make a wave and no one gave a shit. So it's like...
Let me see.
Why?
It's going to depress us and I'm going to see when it was.
But also, like Robin Hood, there's an Indian TV series at the minute that is basically like Robin Hood told in the modern context. It's sort of like Robin Hood meets Arrow.
The Russell Crowe Robin Hood was 2010.
Oh Christ! So it was a while back then.
Yeah.
Jesus. So, but you know what I mean? It's like, oh, maybe it's time for a new Robin Hood. No. You can do that old school swashbuckle thing and it'd be appealing. I mean, look at Pirates in 2003 when that came about.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, really? Then everyone saw it and went, oh, this is pretty great, actually.
And then it came out that Johnny Depp was allegedly beating his wife and no one cares anymore.
Not yet. It didn't do it yet. It did it later. But you know what I mean?
The
like,
series got bad.
The idea,
and then Johnny Depp became an ass.
No, but you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
cool.
no. You know what I mean? Though, like the idea that that was the last time I can think of where a genre came back and everyone went, really? And it was done so well that people went, okay, we're listening.
Yeah.
There is a way to do that with Robin Hood. If you go back and you look at your Errol Flynn era stuff and like the swashbuckle and the fun of it all, yeah, there's totally a way to do that, but
what you need to do is go
foldable crossbows and
give
it's Robin Hood, mate, and all that shit. Like,
give it a rest, make us wait, make us salivate, and then bring it back with the Daleks.
No.
Is that how that works?
No, Billy. In the words of Joel Hobson.
Bring it back with the Daleks.
No, Billy. I couldn't give a shit.
I just don't
really.
care. Yeah,
it's
I
so
really,
weird.
really don't care.
It's so weird.
It's hardly the only movie in this list of movies we're talking about that I don't care about, but I really don't care about it.
I said to you before the show, like, I remember on a radio show that I used to work on, in 2008, maybe even earlier actually, we covered a Robin Hood movie development at the time with Russell Crowe. And the idea was he was going to be playing a dual role of, like, someone on the good guy side.
And I still don't agree that this is the same thing.
Oh, no. Well, no. It's not the same script and it's not the same idea, but it sounds like there's a producer who has the rights, who's got a hard-on for the... Because in this new movie...
It's not the same script and it's not the same idea, but it's really similar.
No. Okay, I like it. Right, let me explain it for the purpose of the people listening going, what the fuck is going on? Because I don't get it either, but I have an inkling. So basically... Like, over a decade ago, they said there was a Robin Hood movie being made with Russell Crowe where he was going to be playing Robin Hood, but also the Sheriff of Nottingham, but not as separate characters. It's the same character. So, the idea was the Sheriff of Nottingham was secretly Robin Hood. And then the Robin Hood movie came out and that wasn't the plot. It was more straightforward. In this one, Taron Egerton's playing Robin Hood, who is, and always has been Robin of Locksley. Well, Robin of Locksley becomes Sir of Locksley.
Yes, you're correct.
Who then, secretly is also robbing the rich and giving to the poor as Robin Hood. But in all the other iterations of it, he's Robin of Locksley. He comes home, his estate is gone, all of his stuff has gone. It's all been pillaged because Prince John, in place of King Richard, has been taking all the riches from here and everywhere and pilfering and la la la.
Yes.
And
Robin Hood.
giving it out to his bitches and this, that, and the other.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, so he comes back and he assumes the Robin Hood identity and commits robberies, and eventually they're like, wait, you're Robin of Locksley! Oh, fuck, right, we know who it is now, get him! And all this stuff. In this one, he comes back from the Crusades, goes back to his manor, and is all like, oh, King John, yes, we're besties. Have you heard that the people are trying to uprise against you? Fuck those people. And then he's also secretly Robin Hood. They've gone for the superhero thing. So the point I was making was, it sounds like someone had an idea of Robin Hood is a secret identity while he's also hiding in plain sight. And this movie is still doing that idea for a film that never happened, but was gonna. It sounds to me... this is why...
so far removed from Robin Hood is also Robin of Locksley to Robin Hood is also the Sheriff of Nottingham. There's a gulf between those.
I think it's literally about the characters. I mean,
yes,
the idea of him being on Prince John's side, whilst also secretly being the enemy. But the reason why I think this is because it makes me think of the whole John Peters Superman Lives thing. The idea that he was saying to Kevin Smith, I want this, this, and this, and one of the things was a giant spider. He just fights a giant spider. And obviously that movie never happened, and it was in Kevin Smith's draft, and then it wasn't, and then it was in the Tim Burton draft, and then Tim Burton went, no, get rid of this, and got rid of it, but John Peters was still the producer. And then 5-6 years later, John Peters produces Wild Wild West, and there's a giant spider in it for no reason. It feels like an idea someone's had, and they've gone, yeah, but what if, right, Robin is like an ally of King John, but he's secretly Robin Hood. Do you know what I mean? It feels like someone's really got a hard-on for that idea.
You've got a hard-on for this idea.
Oh my god, I've just figured it out.
What?
I've just figured it out. It's Robin Hood as fucking the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Yes.
That's someone loves that and wants that to be a thing, and now they've got it, and there it is.
Whoever it was who brought it to this movie wasn't a producer on the other Robin Hood movie, though.
Oh no, they may not. Yeah, they may not be a producer on that movie, but they could be someone at that studio or someone who's involved in the rights distribution.
Yeah,
like
there are no rights to Robin Hood. It's the main character.
No, but I mean, like if someone had got we're making a Robin Hood movie and this is our ideas, and like it feels like a shit idea that didn't die.
You've taken it to heart in a way that no one else has.
Hashtag Robin Hood conspiracy.
This is ridiculous.
Hashtag Robin of Locksley. Hashtag only Crow knows.
It's not the same thing.
Hashtag only Crow knows. Clues are in his jockstrap.
2014.
No, 2018.
We got a pretty good Godzilla movie. Yeah. That I liked a lot, you liked less.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
There's not a lot of Godzilla in it.
That's my problem.
There's a lot of Aaron Taylor-Johnson looking at things going, what? But when Godzilla is in it, fuck a duck. Look at that giant bastard.
Barfing liquid lightning death down the throat of those who oppose him.
But if you liked Godzilla in that, well, guess what? You're going to get a whole lot more of him and all of his friends. Godzilla King of Monsters trailer dropped, starring
and all of his barnyard pals.
I know, right? Vera Farmiga. Vera, whatever. I can't say her name. I'm sorry. Vera Farmiga, I think it is. Billy Bobby Brown. Some dude.
Some C.
Sally Hawkins and what's his bloody name now? Ken Watanabe. And lots of monsters. We got Godzilla, we got Mothra, we got Rodan, we got fucking King Ghidorah, boy! They've been named the Titans, I guess, and it seems like Vera Farmiga wants to wake them all up because of reasons.
Because apparently the Earth needs them.
The Earth needs them. I don't know why. But yeah, the Earth needs him. Who's the dude? Kyle Chandler. It looks like Kyle Chandler and Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, and Millie Bobby Brown. They're a family unit. Unit. Also, Charles Dance is in it to say one ominous line.
Long live the king.
So who knows?
We were saying what we like in the scene.
Yeah.
He's going to stroll in, walk up to them and go, long live the king. And then walk out and they're going to go, who's that? Oh, that's Charles Dance.
That's the only reason
he
was
actor?
hired.
Yeah. The actor Charles Dance. Why was he here just then? Someone had to say it.
Derek Sibley, the actor.
Gave the best King Lear this cat's ever seen.
Top of his class at RADA.
And then one day it's
good night, sweetheart.
Fucking hell. Again, I'd class this as a teaser trailer because it shows a lot without showing a damn thing.
It's certainly teasing me. Oh, I say what?
We see a lot of silhouettes and shadows,
a lot of glowy
and
big
bits of
glowy
monsters.
moth wings.
Bits of
big
monsters.
King Ghidorah shadow.
And then we get a glory shot with your boy at the end. We get Godzilla in almost full glory before the title smashes in.
Godzilla, King of Monsters. Which is also a lead up to Godzilla versus King Kong. That's what we're getting after this.
Which will, you know what? That feels anticlimactic, really, after this.
You say that, but you might be right.
Yeah.
Not like, well, no, because the King Kong is the King Kong from Kong Skull Island, who was already the biggest King Kong, and he was. It's explicitly stated in that movie that he's still growing.
Yeah,
he's only a baby's yet.
Oh yeah, but I just mean in this we've got fire-breathing three-headed dragons and giant moths and sea monsters and all that, and then in the next one it's the lizard and the gorilla are going to fight. It's just like...
Yeah, I saw Rampage already.
See, what I think is interesting is that in the next one, apparently, Godzilla will be Godzilla, but secretly he'll also be King Kong.
Oh, okay.
And
he's King Kong wearing a Godzilla suit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was birthed in 2009. Someone came up with the idea of Russell Crowe playing Godzilla, but also playing King Kong.
The Rock is King Ghidorah.
See, that's a movie I'd watch.
I'd watch the shit out
Godzilla versus The Rock.
Why wouldn't you?
It's just The Rock fighting Godzilla. I'd watch that.
What can I say about Godzilla King of Monsters? Lots of monsters gonna fuck shit up. Yeah, alright, I'm down.
I'd say, what's it? All Hail the King, but I feel like we'd have to pay Charles Dance a lot of money to do it justice. Instead, let's say,
What? We should start a new scoring system on trailers of how many ominous sounding Charles Dance lines has this one got in it?
Oh god. Depends on the budget of the movie.
The game is on.
Oh god, yeah, that was a thing. Fuck. As long as he doesn't have the last line, the series will continue.
Yes, it's fine. Shazam!
Ah! Oh, you mean the film?
DC have fucking done it.
I think killing it at this Comic-Con.
Their stuff looks really good. Shazam looks really good. Can we talk about how good Shazam looks for at least 5 minutes?
It was July 2013 that Zack Snyder stood there on the Warner Brothers panel.
Zack Snyder!
And debuted that picture of the bat symbol with the Superman logo in it, and everyone lost their shit.
Ugh.
And me being the one person who'd seen Man of Steel like that week with a group of friends who came out of it going, I didn't like that at all. Saw that and went, I don't want more of you. I don't want more of you making things with this Superman.
Please.
I don't want that.
God, no more of you.
I don't want and they announced it was going to be Batman versus Superman, and I think they announced it by someone, I think it was Zack Snyder, someone read, might have been a different actor, but someone read a monologue from The Dark Knight Returns.
It's from when Batman is kicking the shit out of Superman towards the end, and it's like, I want you to remember this, Clark. I want you to remember, your private moments in all the years to come.
I can't remember who he got to do it. I think he got an actor specifically to come out just to read that, and then the logo flashed up. And then a year later, they showed that snippet to the audience in the whole at that point of the bat signal and Superman in the thing, which is weird because that's like nearly 2 years before the movie's released.
God.
But I remember just not giving a shit. So when
those movies take so long to come out, and they start promoting them so far in advance. We saw the first Justice League footage 18 months before the movie came out.
Justice League had some weird release issues. Anyway, I mean the merch was coming out from June of last year.
Bad.
Do you remember? It was already on clearance by the time the film came out.
Because we had the masks of everyone's favourite superhero, Cyborg.
Yeah. God.
Everyone's favourite DC superhero in Justice League, Cyborg.
Don't, he'll cry out of his one good eye.
Dull character, man. I'm so sorry for you.
Ray Fisher.
I'm so sorry, Ray Fisher. You deserve better.
He does. But so did we, as fans of these films, because they have made people feel pretty damn upset because they're just these horrible, uncomfortable, gross, grim, dark versions of the characters. Or like Suicide Squad, they're all style with no substance, and it's just this odd mix of and then Wonder Woman comes along, and the world unanimously goes, "Okay, that was good. Yeah, do more like that. That was really fun. Do more like that.
I like this thing."
Then we get Justice League, and the world goes, "Less like that. Less like that." To the point where even the devout are complaining because they're going, "Release the Zack Snyder cut," which means, right, look, for stars, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The Zack Snyder cut is the film you got because it was mostly shot by him, and then Whedon finished it.
Yeah.
That's the Zack Snyder cut, guys. But not only that, that's you acknowledging that you don't like the movie. That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to like the movie.
It's okay to not like it.
It's fine. You should want better for these characters in this world.
And also, it's not good. So don't worry about it.
Our first DCEU movie since Wonder Woman is coming out
Worlds of
later
DC,
this year.
as it's now called.
Oh, is that what they're referring to?
Yeah.
That's coming out later this year. We'll get to that in a moment. But they also showed off next summer's movie, which looks so much fun.
It looks...
It's the adaptation of the eventual DC character Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Now called Shazam, and I thought it was quite interesting that the two movies with characters of that name are being released a month apart, which is kind of fun next year. But yeah, Shazam, starring Zachary Levi as one half of the lead character.
As Shazam, the heroic alter ego of teenage Billy Batson.
Yeah. Who, again, like, you have to forget that the DCEU exists, because there's an implication in the trailer of, like, he idolises, like, the idea of being a superhero.
Or at least...
because they exist.
At least Freddy does.
So the reason why he...
his foster brother.
Yeah, absolutely. He's totally... But, like, the reason why he's all bright and overly muscular and looks really dashing and basically Superman-esque, proper Superman-esque... Because
Captain Marvel was always a Superman ripoff.
Yeah, but they've contextualised this in this way of, like, of course, like, if Billy Batson would turn into a superhero, he'd do it how he as a kid imagines a superhero would be.
Yeah.
But then you have to sort of forget that in this world superheroes are all moody because in muted colours. You have to forget that.
Well, that's what we've seen in the movies, but the kids seem to like it.
Yeah.
So fuck knows.
This looks so much fun.
It looks so much fun.
Brighter colour palette, yay. It's definitely a comedy.
Zachary Levi in that ridiculous padded suit.
Oh my god, but
great.
But that's the thing as well, like, it doesn't look fake or artificial in terms of his look in the movie. Because the sincerity of which they're delivering his look and style,
absolutely.
You're like, okay, I believe he is this cartoonishly buff guy.
Yeah.
Who, oh god, the videotapes of him testing the powers, like, they're testing what he can do. There's a shot of him flossing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is amazing. Like, oh my god, this is happening.
Very good. It's very, very good.
This is happening. There's shots of Zachary Levi dressed as fucking Captain Marvel and he's flossing.
Yeah.
And it looks hilarious.
It's good.
Because, again, doing it properly, he's got the mind of Billy Batson. Like, he just happens to be a big dude. They're not doing the split personality thing that some adaptations go with.
He's a
straight up Billy Batson.
Straight up Billy Batson in a big grown up superpowered body.
Like, what are your powers? Powers? I haven't even figured out how to pee in this thing. It's like, great.
Very
it's
true.
So good.
Knowing it's Jesus Christ, because it's poking fun at itself.
What?
It's poking fun at itself.
I just wish that Suicide Squad had that kind of, like, awareness of its own thing.
Well, you shouldn't have made a Suicide Squad, because you shouldn't be leaning into the dark corners of the DC universe.
No.
There's a reason the Marvel movies have been so successful. And yeah, you can say, oh, well, you don't want to just follow the leader. That's what you're doing by making a fucking shared universe superhero movie. You are following the leader already. You are chasing that shared universe money. But if you're not... There's a reason those movies work, because they're so universally accessible because of their tone. If you keep making dark tone movies with, like, impenetrable, shitty, lumpen dialogue and greyed out colour palettes, people are going to be turned off. And they have been, demonstrably. They have been. Not just by the DCE stuff, but also by the Mummy, the failed attempt to get Dark Universe off the ground.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad to see companies get so wound up about, oh, we're going to do this, and then it just falls on its ass because they can't. And this applies across all art forms. A lot of gaming companies are doing it at the moment as well. They're just chasing the latest craze. And just failing to capture what worked about the successful parts, the works that have been successful in that genre or in that field.
You have these wonderful stories and characters at your disposal, and instead of looking at why people love them, you're just trying to do what the other people are doing, and then just using these are the contents of the thing we're going to do like them. Whereas, like you say, embrace what you have, embrace your strengths.
Yeah.
Use your strengths.
Yeah.
Become
if you are going to beefy superhero in a red suit.
If you are going to copy the formula, at least make your flavour unique by focusing on the tools and toys at your disposal.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like they're finally getting right. Wonder Woman was fresh and vibrant and looked gorgeous in our first San Diego Comic-Con video 2 years ago.
Still ended in smoke and fire and lightning.
Yeah, but
in a less egregious
I remember
way.
that trailer and everything, the footage we saw 2 years back was beautiful, and the movie came out, it was like, yeah, they've lightened this up. We have a protagonist who's a lot more, has a sense of innocence about her. She's a no frills on her, straight up cheesy good guy, but through that lens of innocence and wanting everyone to be wonderful and happy and full of love like herself, it feels sincere, like the Chris Reeves Superman back in the day. It feels sincere and wonderful. And then Justice League steps back and tries to visually be more colourful and tries to be a little lighter, but it still feels disingenuous. And then this trailer for Shazam drops and you're like, no, they've got it again. They're understanding.
They get it.
Setting it at winter's brilliant because that red and yellow's just popping out of all the white snow in frame. The snow, the white snow and the dark blues and blacks in the background.
Mark Strong's a villain, so we're in
again.
It's decent.
What we were saying before, there's two actors who look like they're trying to rack up as many comic characters as possible.
Yeah,
Shazam the Wizard is played by
Jimon Honsu,
who is oh god, what's his character? Korath.
The Korath Pursuer in Guardians of the Galaxy and
the upcoming Captain Marvel. As well as...
Not Shazam.
As well as playing a role in Shazam.
Yeah.
And Aquaman.
Yeah, he's Fisherman King in Aquaman, albeit a performance capture character, but yes.
So, that's 4. Mark Strong, Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Kingsman. Kingsman the good one. Kingsman 2.
The bad one.
The bad one. And Green Lantern, and now Shazam. So they're chasing each other now.
Yeah,
they're chasing each other. If you Kingpin's
Kingpin.
the same role. So
Kingpin's
let's say 4 each. Let's say 4 each. They got 4 each.
Yeah.
I think Rebecca Romijn's got like 4 each as well. There's a few actors who've played multiple parts across all these things, but all the same, awesome. Shazam cannot bloody wait.
What about Aquaman?
Now this is interesting.
Not as excited.
Yeah, I'm not like, oh my god, I can't wait for this. But I'm certainly a lot more interested than I was.
And we're getting in December. It's round the corner.
Yeah, and it's the visual. It's weird to think, isn't it? That's the DC movie this year.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much they've had to sort of pause and think and wonder what the hell they're doing.
And it looks...
The films have been completely a year apart, despite the fact they want to keep chasing that dragon. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's the tableaus of the trailer that have got me interested. Like certain pictures and images and wide shots, especially, where you're just like, oh, that looks beautiful.
Atlantis itself,
it's a cool take.
Diving off the ship that's under attack by the trench and then following the light source down into the deeps. That's a fucking great shot.
That is a great shot. Black Manta on the rooftop in the village, firing his laser eyes through a clock tower as Aquaman leaps out the way. You're like, that looks cool.
Just Black Manta.
Yeah. Straight from the freaking pages.
Straight up fucking Black Manta, big head and everything.
Got a surname in this as well. It's called David Kane. Giving him a surname because before he's only ever been alluded to as David.
I'm not as up on Black Manta to pass judgment on that.
I had Top Trump's cards. I remember pointless information.
Right. Okay. Cool.
But definitely James Wan is a very visual director and he's very atmosphere. He works with atmosphere a lot.
And also he's done a lot of horror. So.
Well, you were saying like the creatures from the trench and everything.
Yeah, they're definitely going to lean into.
You know that if they weren't in there before he got onto it, he'd be like,
"Oh yeah, I'm
can we maybe put these in the film? I'd like to see these fucking terrifying piranha men."
Both this and Shazam look as if they're taking very heavy influence from the New 52 versions of the characters.
Well, Shazam right down to having the hood,
and
everything, which I think. Oh, hang on. I think the hood predates New 52 slightly. Injustice did it first, and then New 52 took it on board.
Cool. Yeah. But yeah, I New 52 felt like for some of these characters it was a movie pitch version in the same way that Ultimate Marvel did in 2001.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me, and if anything, it makes me feel a bit more confident about what's to come because they're actually using a concrete source for tone, for characters, for visuals, rather than going, oh, what, we're going to take a bit of this and a bit of this, which when you do it with a character like Superman or Batman who have 80-year histories, you've got so much to choose from that if you don't focus right down onto what you want, it ends up just being a massive mishmash.
Yeah.
So that has got me confident about both Shazam and Aquaman, but definitely more excited for Shazam. That looks really good.
Just totally. I think that's what we want more of right now and what we want to see more of.
Yeah.
But Aquaman still, visually really cool stuff going on. Patrick Wilson, because of course it's a James Wan movie and he's got to get in there.
I'm just not 100% sold on Jason Momoa.
Yeah, and do you think that's because of the bad taste left in the mouth after Justice League?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's 100% that.
Because I think for me it's sort of just a mix of, I don't know if I'm in love with Dude Bro Aquaman in general.
I don't think I'm down with it. But if the movie surrounding it is...
There's an episode of Smodcast freaking years ago. I can't remember how they get onto it, but Kevin and Scott start deciding that Aquaman... Yeah, it's in the Red Savine episode where the first hour they're talking about Avengers, because Kevin Smith had just seen Avengers.
Okay.
And they're talking about a Justice League. They were trying to figure out how they could do that and stuff. And they... For some reason they come up with the concept of Aquaman just being like a stoner surfer. Yeah. And... it's hilarious. It's just this hilarious thing. It's like, you ever done it out of a blowfish and all this. Like, they take the mickey, the idea of like, you ever fucked a fish? Just like that's all he's got down there. It's like he's defeated Black Manta and all. I defeated you, Black Manta, and all across the shore is children lapping at the waves, going, Father, Father. There's just these mutated fish things. He's like, I gotta go, and all this. It's brilliant, but that always made me laugh. The idea of like just doing that, and then when the Justice League stuff came out, it was like, oh Christ, they're actually doing that. That's so weird. Like, so yeah, I mean, the trailer ends on a really sort of, he's like, gotta love a redhead, right? And you're just like, what?
Too redhead. Yeah, like that is a very red head.
But comic book is,
comic book.
And I suppose it is a design choice because on land Mira's got like shock red, blood red hair.
Yeah,
but then in water, of course, it would look darker.
Yes, it would.
So if it was too dark on land, it would just look black underwater.
Also, man does Amber Heard look way more comfortable in normal clothes than she does in that green corset thing.
Yeah,
like just let her wear normal clothes. Don't torture her in that fucking skin tight green thing.
Especially if she's got a warrior thing going on. Like, give her a bit more coverage.
Uncomfortable.
Or a bit more armour. I mean, I know I get under the water. You don't want stuff dragging you, but
he's armoured.
But what's like
the costume's armoured?
Oh no, but I mean, like you want something sleeker to move through the water. But then what's like Ocean Master's excuse and stuff? Do you know what I mean? They're wearing big armour, so why can't Mira have big armour? Although merchandise from the Comic-Con floor revealed that at some point in the movie, enough for there to be several pieces of merch of it, Aquaman is going to be wearing dark green lower half with boots and bright orange upper half.
Yes.
So we are getting the Aquaman like classic look. I mean, right there's a new 52 action figure just behind you. Like it's pretty much that, and I'm down with that.
It's a good look.
It still sort of works with the big hair and beard and everything. So I was like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, down with it.
It's a shame we don't see it in the trailer, but whatevs. Interesting trailer.
They're saving it for the movie. Yeah. For the final poster.
And then obviously the toys that spoil it beforehand, because that's how things work now. But yeah, I'd say we're cautiously optimistic about Aquaman.
Disenchantment is the biggest thing I felt this week, but it's also the title of a forthcoming Netflix cartoon from Matt Groening.
We just watched the trailer for the first time before this.
It looks fine.
Yeah, it looks. It's. I'm interested just because I know a lot of people who worked on Futurama are involved in it.
Yeah,
and that makes me happy. That both behind the mics and behind the scripts and production team and everything.
Yeah.
It's another genre thing like Futurama.
Yeah.
It sort of feels like a cousin to Futurama just from the visuals alone. But I think that's because Matt Groening's style for shows, like only one other show has had this sort of look before, and that was Futurama.
Yeah.
From the trailer, there's definitely funny bits in the trailer, and there's definitely, okay funny bits in the trailer. But like bits were just like, there was gags that make you go, and there's gags that just make you go,
yeah.
But it does look like it's leaning more on the fantasy and character arc stuff rather than the comedy.
Yeah,
so that I'll be interested to see how that plays out. I'm calling me curious. Calling me curious. Just don't call me late for dinner. Doesn't work.
No,
doesn't work.
No.
But I'll tell you what does work. He says, not knowing what's next on the contents list.
Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Oh shit, that couldn't have gone worse.
Doesn't work.
So, for those who know,
I don't care.
For those who don't know, I didn't enjoy Fantastic Beasts.
I've not seen it because I just don't care enough.
Yeah, I was mostly disappointed that it was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I was mostly disappointed that it wasn't just a romp with a briefcase full of magical creatures spilling out of New York and Newt Scamander having to rein them all back in 1920s New York with Harry Potter wizarding sensibility to it all. That could have been a really fun movie. A wizard and a nomad running around New York trying to get all these creatures back in line and put them away before they uncover the wizarding world to the public at large.
Newt
I thought
Scamander,
that was the plot.
Or, as my impression of him from the trailers is...
Jay Leno?
He's just so wibbly.
Yeah. If you watch the original at any point, it just looks like Eddie Redmayne watched an 11th Doctor Who story at night on cable once and went, "Oh, I'll just do that." Because it's just Matt Smith's Doctor and it's really weird.
I've got ratty boots and a big suitcase and a long coat.
And a bow tie. But
I'm so quaint.
But if the first film had been what I just sort of described, like a creature feature and it's like a race against the clock to get them all put away in one night before people find them, that'd be great. That was not the film. That was like a fifth of what the film was about.
But I feel like it's also what the film was marketed as.
Yes, it's about a government conspiracy, and apparently there's a wizard terrorist called, Grindelwald, and that becomes more prominent throughout the movie and overtakes every other plot. And at the end of the movie, it's revealed, spoilers for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, that Colin Firth's agency character, who was the villain just because he was ruthless and on their tail, was actually Grindelwald, who was doing some stuff that isn't really clear.
Doing a villain.
He turns from Colin Farrell to Johnny Depp in the last minute, and it's meant to be like a big reveal. Because I think that was the moment when myself, certainly, and people who've revisited the movie since, realised Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was never meant to be a creature feature fun movie about Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It was meant to be a series-starting movie that kicks off a saga about this wizard terrorist. Yeah. But for some reason, they want to keep the Fantastic Beasts name and theme to it all.
Well, they have to, because that's what they called the first one.
Yeah.
So you have to know it's a continuing series.
Yeah, even though it's just sort of shoehorning Newt Scamander and the creatures into it now. And also, Colin Farrell was brilliant in the first movie, and it's weird that the reveal is, but he was really this guy who's played by Johnny Depp, but the surprise is that it's this character, right, guys? This character you saw on a newspaper clipping in the opening credits. Are you surprised? You know it's him because it was announced, like, the week of the film coming out that he'd be playing the character in an upcoming movie in the future, so you're surprised. It was just like, what? Huh? I don't understand why. So yeah, that's odd. Here's the sequel. It's banking heavily on Johnny Depp. Let's just briefly on this because it's worth. I do want to talk about the film and what the trailer looks like and that shit.
I have no interest in talking about the film, so don't worry about that.
But okay, so let's first then touch on this. So Johnny Depp been involved in many scandals of late.
Yeah.
One of which is he allegedly. I want to say this in the Colbert style that they do every time they talk about the PP tape.
Yeah.
He allegedly
beat
his wife, his ex-wife Amber Heard several times.
Yeah.
Amber Heard put out video evidence onto the internet at one point of him day drinking and being really aggressive.
Yeah.
And when he realises he's being filmed, he's really shouty about it, and it's uncomfortable stuff to watch.
Yeah.
But at no point in the footage is he abusive or does he abuse her. She does seem
Not
in the footage.
anyway.
No, she does seem in the footage to some like she's sort of goading him slightly. So it's a little uncomfortable because it's like, is she trying to make him sort of have a violent outburst forever? Because that makes it complicated and weird.
That veers towards victim blaming from.
That's true, but it was at the same time where she was seen out and about with a bruise on her face, like severe bruises, which were then gone 2 days later, like completely gone and not from makeup. So it was either a quick recovery or a lot of makeup or something. But either way, it was in this weird period where it was like, is she trying to do something here? Or is there something really horrible coming on that he's done and he's been a horrible person? Yeah. It was very unclear. Either way, they divorced. She got half of everything he owned in the settlement and then immediately gave the majority of it to charity.
Yeah.
Which suggests that, yes, he was a horrible person. And, she's like, look, as part of the divorce, I get this. I don't want his money. I'm putting it away. I'm sending it elsewhere where it can do good stuff. Either way, it's a weird and complicated situation. it is not appropriate to make this man, who, again, allegedly is an abuser, as the poster child of your family-friendly movies. Now, Pirates 5 was already in the can.
Even
was on
if
its
he
way
is
out
the
at
villain.
the time. Yeah, Pirates 5 was on its way at the time. Was already in the can. Kind of unavoidable, but the marketing did a smart decision at the time. The first 2 trailers for Pirates 5 underplayed Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
It acknowledged that, of course, Jack Sparrow is in the story and is a part of the movie, but it underplayed him. And then they went all in on Jack Sparrow in like the last month. It was a terrible performance. It was not a great movie. Crimes of Grindelwald could be called anything else, but his character's name is in the title. They have doubled down on it being him. J.K. Rowling has expressed that she apologises in no way, no shape or form for the casting of him. Which is, again, her right. Fair enough.
I'm torn on that, though, because how much of... Is it her decision to apologise for?
No, she made the statement of saying, we are not backing down on this, and I do not apologise in any way for him being cast in the movie, because we believe he is right for the role, and we welcome him on board, and we can't wait to see what he does.
Yeah, but he beat his wife.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but...
We've got to stress that.
Do you think
because
we just need to get him to tweet some
because the thing
really
doesn't do any of that
tasteless
stuff.
jokes fucking 10 years ago?
No,
You
but
think
like,
they'll fire him then?
The reason I keep stressing the allegedly thing is this, because what's really uncomfortable about Comic-Con Fantastic Beasts stuff is that regardless of what's happened, this is not a nice situation, whether it be real or implied.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, Fantastic Beasts portion of the Warner Brothers panel ended with a live appearance from Grindelwald, so Johnny Depp in character, which I have a separate issue with, because I'm like, we don't give a shit about him when we don't know him. Why is this exciting? This isn't bringing Loki out for the Dark World panel in 2013.
That's what they thought it was.
That's what they thought it was.
Yeah.
Bringing Loki out for the Dark World panel was amazing, because he'd been in 2 movies, he was the breakout star of the Avengers, and everybody was excited to see him.
Yeah.
This is a character we've met in this version for 2 minutes at the end of another movie.
Yeah.
We don't care. Like, so that's separate. But
I don't care.
He was on stage. So the Hall H is a mix of reactions when this happens. It's people cheering, people who are excited for the movie, people who obviously either don't follow the story or don't believe the story or whatever, who are just excited to see him. And that's, that's fine. That's completely their right. Whatever. But also a lot of hushed silence from everyone else. Fair enough. When the trailer played out, there were boos from portions of the crowd when he appeared on screen during the trailer.
Nice.
But then those people obviously chose to let those who were excited just fine, have your fucking moment, enjoy him being here, whatever. Then let's move on. Those same people then the people who were quiet during the trailer for Fantastic Beasts gave a massive fucking round of applause, standing ovation to Amber Heard arriving, because that was what was gross for me.
Yeah.
When you take away the fact that we don't really know what happened, but obviously there's a lot of evidence suggesting something horrible did, but regardless, we don't really know what happened, and yet they still allowed an alleged abuser on stage, and then the person he allegedly abused to be on the same stage 10 minutes later. That's weird. That is creepy.
Yeah.
That is uncomfortable, and it really soured the press conference for a good portion of it.
Yeah.
How weird is that? Why would you do that?
It's just stupid. It's stupid and short-sighted and inconsiderate and insensitive. And
because if you look at it from any side, if she is in some form of wrongdoing and he's been wrong done by her, and it's a smear thing, why would he want to be anywhere near her in this thing? That's horrible.
Yeah.
If he has beaten her and abused her physically and mentally over a period of 2 years, why would she want to be anywhere near him? Why would you want to give him the platform to show off and be, celebrated? 10 minutes apart from each other.
I don't understand it.
If he has not done these things and she has, smeared it just to make the relationship end quicker and get the divorce money or whatever, or if he has been abusive but not to the degree that she's alleged, but whatever, why would you have them in the same real room on the same stage 10 minutes apart?
You shouldn't.
For Christ's sake, she's got a restraining order on him. So legally, what happened? Did he come in and the moment he was done on stage, they get him in one of the golf buggies and they freaking zoomed him to another part of the site and then brought her in? What the? It's just gross.
It's gross.
And it's complicated my already sort of I don't know why I should give a shit relationship with these movies, because now I'm like, the people making these films are fucking colourblind.
They are going all in on the Johnny Depp.
Yeah, and it's just so weird.
Yeah.
Regardless, the film looks fine, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just not interested at all.
Yeah.
It looks competent. Some people might even find it exciting, in which case, good times. I just have no interest in it whatsoever.
Yeah, who's the actor? I'm trying to remember the actor's name now. He's bloody lovely. The actor who plays the Nomad in it, the muggle character.
I can't remember his name.
Because he's great, and I can find out in 2 seconds.
In 2 seconds?
The one movie I own with him in is right behind you. What Fanboys.
Yeah, okay.
Let's find out the actor's name. Dan Fogler. Dan Fogler was wonderful in the first one. He was hands down the best part of the first one, and he's back in this one, and that's great. But it also, spoiler alert for the previous one, he's made to forget the events of it to keep the cover up going. So it's like, all right, well that meant nothing.
Yeah.
Are we Moffat in this then, or what? Is that how we're doing this?
Yes, we are.
So there we go.
Executive producer Stephen Moffat.
Matt, take me away from Newt Scamander and Dumbledore's lack of apparent acknowledgement of his relationship with Grindelwald, aside from one forced-in shot in reshoots of The Mirror of Erised.
I'm going to take you
into a roller coaster.
Maybe an unnecessary sequel to a problematic film which seemed to have difficulty separating mental illness and supernatural powers.
Oh, distinct.
I'm talking about Glass, the sequel to Split, and also the sequel to Unbreakable, which was always meant to happen, honest, from M. Night Shyamalan. I'm interested by this movie. I just still have a bit of a sour taste in my mouth from Split, which seems like they're going to carry on with this in the way that Shyamalan conflated mental illness and supernatural abilities and badness, inherent badness in someone, and using mental illness as a device to create a horror movie monster, essentially.
That was what made Split...
I have a slight issue with that.
Well, that's what split people down the middle with the previous movie. I quite liked Split. It was a perfectly serviceable, sometimes brilliant, sometimes just alright, like 3-star horror thriller.
How many M. Night Shyamalan films does that describe?
I know.
It's...
But what
you can definitely make half a good movie.
The basic premise of Split is that there is a gentleman played by James McAvoy who has 23 separate personalities living inside of him.
Yeah,
which is based on a couple of real conditions and whatnot, but exaggerated slightly. And there is a 24th personality on the way, which. The kidnapping of these 3 girls in the original is because apparently it needs to feed when it arrives. So it's the idea that the personalities have built up this mythology, and a couple of the personalities are not nice people.
Yeah.
And they are like, we're going to help this thing because this thing is going to mean that we're free. Like, people will never tell us what to do ever again. So we're going to give it an offering. And they keep referring to it as the beast. And the idea is that when this personality arrives, it will devour the girls, and it will leave and go into the world, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants because no one's going to touch him ever again. And and some of the personalities completely disagree with it, and there's an implication in the film that several of them have been suppressed very deeply because they disagree. And it's do you know what I mean? So it's like the film makes an idea of saying this guy has this condition. It doesn't make him a bad person, but he is a bad person, and unfortunately the more bad sides of his personality are winning, in terms of So again, it is that thing of, that's uncomfortable, but you're separating the condition from how bad a person he is at least, and making it so it's like that.
Yeah.
But then, at the end, when the beast does emerge, he undergoes a slight physical transformation. Not drastically, but the way his body, and again, a lot of it's down to
you see it in this trailer as well.
The personalities, you see James McAvoy, the way he holds himself, he looks like a physically different person. You meet 7 of them properly in the original movie. 4 of them recur, and it's a phenomenal performance from McAvoy. He looks and acts completely different for all of them, and it's disarming and a little bit awkward and funny at first for some of them. like there's a 9-year-old kid I think called Hector or something like that is one of them, and that's kind of like, oh, this is weird and a bit strange.
Yeah.
But then the more he does it, the more you're like, okay, I've completely bought into this now.
Yeah.
Like
I might have to give it another go. It just there's just something about the premise and the way it handles Lilith that puts me off.
The implication of his doctor and stuff is she's like, I believe that he's able like to physically he already can physically hold himself differently because each of the different people are different and they act differently and they maneuver differently. But this last one is like it's almost like he can change himself slightly physically to conform with this new personality. And they don't show it. It's not like an American Werewolf. We don't have like a transformation scene. No. But we do kind of see that he's bigger and a little hulkier and but then there's a shot toward the end where you sort of see him in full while he is the Beast, and he's clearly just the same scrawny guy, but it's all just about the way he's holding himself. And the film implies that there is a supernatural element to this, and that's where it's a bit gross, because it is just like, you can't say, look, fair enough, you could do it. You can tell a story about someone who is going through a thing that is very rare and is a bad person. You can do that. But we've had so many of those, it's almost like you're saying people who have mental illnesses or mental conditions or on certain parts of the autistic spectrum, things like that, are bad people. Maybe change that up by not doing that, but they do that, and then they make it semi-supernatural. Now, this movie might shift more into the supernatural side of it and hopefully correct some of that.
But seeing as it's...
in a way, but it's also Shyamalan, who's not the most sensitive of filmmakers. And who doubled down on Split when asked about it.
Yeah, and seems to be doubling down on it because at least it seems like at least some of this will be set inside some kind of mental health facility / institution with Mr. Glass and David Dunn and James McAvoy's several personalities. I'm interested. I'm interested in it. I just don't know how it's going to go.
Were Split about something that was just supernatural from the start, it would be less weird. Like if he were just the vessel for 23 people for some reason, and it wasn't a mental illness, then that would be
the element of it being explicitly a mental illness as a central plot device. Yeah, which then they use to go, oh, actually he's a murderer because of his different personality. There's just something about it that doesn't sit right with me. But Glass looks intriguing. We'll see if it sticks the landing. It's nice to see Bruce Willis back. I've been wanting an Unbreakable sequel for a long time because I love that
Unbreakable,
movie.
97?
It was post Sixth Sense. I think it was 99, 2000.
Yeah.
Let me double check.
It was around the time of the turn of the millennium.
Yeah, I think it's 2000. Yeah, 2000.
And again, like just to see McAvoy as a performer inhabit all those different characters is a fascinating thing. But the lead character from Split is back in it. She's there to sort of, obviously, I suppose, bring her side of the story in. And who's it? Sarah Paulson?
Yes.
Who I'm always happy to watch in anything. She's great. Yeah. So we'll see. It definitely is one of the more interesting trailers to come out of San Diego. But I agree with you that the attached sort of lack of tact from Shyamalan could prove to be worrying and upsetting once again.
Just going to touch on one more fairly briefly before we head into doing some emails. We might not get them all done this week because we're on a bit of a tight time limit.
Yeah. I've got to go to work.
Titans.
Fuck Batman.
This looks fucking terrible.
This looks dreadful. This looks so
awful.
bad.
Like, it looks. I compared it to Torchwood, like the worst bits of Torchwood. In that it is
the opening of episode 1, where 2 minutes in, someone goes, "Fucking Torchwood," and you go, "Oh, that's how we're doing."
Literally,
this,
you turn around. It's that GCSE drama thing of, oh, you can swear in this. So every other word is fuck.
Wait, GCSE drama, our final major project. Let's make it about drugs.
Yeah, let's make it about drugs.
No one's ever done. Let's make it
Let's
make it about abuse. No one's ever done that.
Yeah, no one's ever done this.
Let's make it about a cult. No one's ever done that.
And
I think we can say this because we're probably both guilty of these storylines.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Yeah,
fuck yeah! It is
because you think it's so edgy.
It is and that's the
problem with this.
It's an edgelord version of Titans.
Yeah,
and it's like Robin shooting people and saying "fuck Batman."
Oh.
Again,
let us reiterate: Dick Grayson Robin.
I think the character designs are interesting, but it's too fucking dark to tell.
No! There's splashes of colour.
Oh yeah,
literally splashes of red colour.
Yes,
because there are so many shots in the thing.
There is a moment
in which the double double.
Hawk and Dove.
Hawk and Dove.
Yeah.
Where like one of them is slashing someone's face open.
Yeah. There is a moment where
with their big comedy wings,
where Robin stabs someone in the neck and a jet of blood spurts out. It's like what? What is this? And I think they're doing the Dick Grayson as a police officer thing, which was a thing for the comics for a while.
Which is, that's fine.
That's an interesting thing if you're going to do that.
This is also Dick Grayson.
Because
out of the two older Robins...
Man. He's not the murdery Robin.
He's not the murdery Robin, and he's also not the sort of person who would be like, fuck Batman, fuck the code I learned when I was Robin.
Fuck the man who took me in after my parents' death and raised me.
Because they're going with that still.
Yeah.
Like they're going with the Haley Circus and the Flying
Yeah.
Graysons and everything. So... they're implying that, oh no, this is Robin, this is the kid sidekick of Batman, and it's like...
No, but fuck Batman.
The best version of... because that became a meme instantly, because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, one of the best ones was the classic, like, Robin speaking and Batman slaps him.
Yeah.
One of them was, fuck Batman, no! Is one of the best, but my favourite one I've seen is someone's just copied the same screen grab 3 times and given it a different subtitle. It says, fuck Batman, kiss Aquaman, marry Superman.
Yeah. I think one of my favourite responses was from Kieran Gillen on Twitter, who said, if Robin actually does fuck Batman, I might be down for this. It's like, okay, sure. Yeah, it's...
I'll be completely fine with it if in the finale Batman shows up and just slaps him and recreates that panel.
This looks as tonally misjudged for Titans as Shazam is perfectly tonally judged for a Captain Marvel film.
Yeah.
It just looks terrible. It looks awful. And if this is what they're launching off DC Universe off the back of, I think we might have a problem.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? They think that teen dramas have to be a certain thing. They have to be gritty and edgy. But at the same time, they can't create anything new. They have to make something we've already had that was more pure and enjoyable and make it darker and thingy, or just recycle the same thing over and over again. It'd be as stupid as announcing that they're redoing Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh yeah, that was announced this weekend as well.
No, we're not getting into that.
We will talk about that in a future
not getting
episode.
into that.
But that's a thing.
Sequel? Sure.
Sequel, absolutely.
Remake?
The end of the show leaves it open for someone else to have the story.
Yeah. Anyway. Emails. First one comes in from Ian. As I really don't care for SDCC.
Welcome to the SDC Roundup episode.
What would you like to be announced / confirmed at D23? The rehiring of James Gunn, please.
Yeah, well, is D23 not this year, is that?
I think it's next year, yeah.
Because that's every 2 years. It was last year, because last year they debuted just to the panel again, which I think is... I like the fact they debut stuff just to people in the panel.
That's fine.
But they debuted to the panel last year, the footage from Wreck-It Ralph, the princesses and stuff.
Yes.
So... yeah, it won't be till next year.
Can we get...
just the next lineup of Marvel slate would be nice.
Taika Waititi doing another one, maybe, taking over Guardians 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Another Walt Disney Pictures movie that is a freaking hand-drawn animation would be nice.
Yeah.
Because the last one that we had, we didn't get it as a Walt Disney Pictures film over here, but they did in the States. Was 2011's Winnie the Pooh.
I'll be really interested to see what state the Last Jedi remake's in by that point. He says, thoughts on the new Sonic toy and how I think if any of us are going to get buy it, it'll be the 720 version rather than character options.
I prefer the Knuckles one.
Yeah, alright.
No, the two Sonic screwdrivers, they aren't made by the different companies. It's the same, they're both made by character options.
Yeah.
But they're distributed by a different company in the States.
Yeah.
Just like Underground Toys have distributed a lot of character option stuff over the years. They're the same toy, they're just in different boxes.
I think it looks good. It's a Sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, I'm not pre-ordering it. I'm fine, thanks. I've got a freaking cup of Sonic screwdrivers over there. I don't
have any of the Sonic screwdrivers, so I probably won't get it. Top 3 Pixar films.
Oh, Jesus.
Fuck a duck.
Toy Story 3, Toy Story 2... No, hang on, I'll take that back. Toy Story 2, Finding Nemo, and The Incredibles. Not in any particular order, but...
yeah, that's tough. Incredibles up, Toy Story 3.
Nice.
Do you believe there will be no Daleks in season 11?
Jubilees in season 11?
No.
Oh. That was also a Doctor Who joke for Finnish fans.
I'm not 100% buying that there's going to be no Daleks at all, because I'm sure that the Terry Nation thing is a real thing. But I will be pleasantly surprised if there aren't.
Maybe they're in the Christmas special and they'll be teased as a cliffhanger at the end of the series.
Yeah, that'd be nice. If you're gonna make a big fuss of them, do a Christmas special with them. Chris, how have your cats been handling the heat?
Oh, bless you. Quite well. Have yours been the same? They're just basking outside more,
bask.
And then coming in and being like, "Bring me food."
They're just asleep all the time. Pepper likes to sleep on the bathroom windowsill. She just curls up
because the window heats up.
But it's frosted, so it's not too bright. Well, she's She's all black.
Yeah,
so she really feels the heat.
We don't know where Luna goes when she goes outside at the minute. She used to have spots.
Where do you go to, my lovely, when you're alone in your bed? Or whatever it is. Is it head? I can't remember.
But Dolly sits on the decking and falls asleep for like 5 hours and occasionally turns over. We've got little bowls of water out there and stuff. So I've caught her once or twice going, blip, blip,
Kanisha made cat milk ice cubes for them. Well, I don't think I've given them
so
yet.
Cool.
Because it's not been that warm the last couple of days.
It's just been muggy.
Yeah.
Welcome to a very British podcast. We're talking about the weather.
Oh, God, so much weather. We're having so much of it at the moment. George says...
What's with all this weather, huh? What's the deal with all this weather?
Greetings, big damn lads. Well, she is the Doctor, whether you like it or not. What an amazing trailer. The look and feel of the show is so exciting. And I can't wait for the new series. Sorry if you're dyslexic. I just had to do that.
It's a tradition we started in episode 1. It ain't going anywhere.
Also, how good was the panel itself? Chemistry between all these people is insane! And I really think Chibnall might have learnt from his mistakes, Cyberwoman. And I love that Owl Jones is the new production designer, keeping that link and feel to Torchwood and SJA. Yeah. If you're going to keep a visual consistency between the brand, which I think is what was missing from the Moffat era, is that visual consistency between all the RTD stuff. Kind of lost it a bit. It lost its... In the Moffat era, it lost its colour. It lost its flavour. It lost its texture. It lost its... It lost its energy. The last couple of seasons in particular. I think the last season...
It became more cinematic, but it didn't have any substance to back it up.
The last season, I think, got a bit of a boost from Pearl Mackie.
Yeah.
But most of the Paldy stuff just didn't have any... And it felt leaden. Like, there was no energy going into it. There was no enthusiasm going into it. Probably because everyone was unhappy with the scripts and miserable making the fucking show. And the schedules get fucking changing. Some questions for you boys this week. Thoughts on the Buffy reboot? Is it worth it?
I think our Buffy special is pretty much impending at this point.
Yeah,
we're probably
going to have to talk about it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, but I care not for it.
I cannot. I'm all for a sequel series. Hands down for a sequel series.
Especially because that way you could focus on a brand new set of characters, and then you can dip into the world we knew as well before. You can bring people back and have them pop in and stuff.
But then you can't call it Buffy the Vampire Slayer because there's no Buffy.
Oh, well, that's the thing. Screw the name. Just whoever else. Like, give me a female name.
Or
give me a female name. You, boy, give me a female name.
Or just...
Audrey.
The Vampire...
Audrey the Vampire Slayer.
The Vampire Slayers.
Slayers?
Because all the potential's left over from...
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree to focus on one central Slayer. Yeah. Just because one thing that wasn't fun about Series 7 was all the Slayers. It was like, okay. But the open premise at the end of Series 7 of, oh my god, anyone who's... Any potential... now has the ability, like, was the ending. It's like, they are all the Slayer, like, what do we do now? Like, that was such a great open project, premise.
Yeah.
That the comic story carries on that idea, and it does really well with it. So, yeah, give us a new central character who's coping with it, and tie it into the original show as well.
Yeah, why not?
You know, that'd be great.
Or a new Slayer isolated from the main sort of Slayer group.
Or one who doesn't know what the fuck's going on with her, and she goes on a quest to learn what it's about.
Yeah, with the end of season 1 being her. Meeting up with Buffy and her vampire slayers.
Yeah, that would be amazing, and that's a perfect way to do it. But no, the name recognition's what they want.
They're going to remake the series,
and the fact that they turned around and said, and we're going to cast an African American actor in the lead role.
Fine.
And it's like, that's fine, but also, hang on. So you've not cast the lead yet, so you are just doing it in that weird reverse preferential thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all for a diversity of leads in television, because of course that's the way things should be. But at the same time, when you're looking at it with just that in mind... unless it's because there's a story you would like to tell, it is like reverse racism. Do you know what I mean? I'm not with you on that. I'm all for it, but only if you are doing it for the right reasons and not because you just want that to be there. Because if you just want that to be there, you are doing a disservice to the actors you are going to screen test.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is 90% of what I want from you is just your skin colour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I suppose.
I think I worded it a bit poorly before, but that's what I mean. It's like, open it up, but unless, of course, there's a story you want to tell, which would require your lead character being African American, of course, absolutely go for it.
Yeah.
But don't open up that net unless that's the case, because otherwise you're just saying, you're black,
token,
that's what I want from the role.
I think if you want, we want a more diverse cast, and we want a lead from a different ethnic background, then you kind of need to be that specific about it. Otherwise, you'll just get the studio execs going, "Oh, well, here's a pretty blonde. Oh, well, here's another pretty blonde that is like my friend's niece."
You think they're putting up as a defense barrier against the business side of it already?
Yeah.
So, okay, if that was the case, then that's
why I think that these sort of specific castings are important, because otherwise you will just get people trying to sneak in.
Yeah, that does happen.
Granddaughter, you know what I mean? Greetings!
She was a cheerleader.
No, that was the top of the email again. Which SDCC trailer surprised you and maybe changed your mind, whether good or bad? Well, Titans turned me off completely from something I was slightly intrigued in after the initial art and the initial pictures.
I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed the Aquaman trailer and was delightfully surprised at our first glimpse of Shazam.
I'm so on board for Shazam.
Yeah.
Do you think
it better be good.
Do you think that Marvel will find a director with the same unique voice, or just someone to see out what they want for Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
I think you've made a good call. If they're definitely refusing for James Gunn's involvement, the best bet is to get someone who knows the sensibilities in the process.
Well, also it depends what their vision for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is, because
I believe it was a close-up.
From what we can gather, that was James Gunn's baby. Like, it was his story.
I mean, I don't put it past them to still use the script, but have someone come in to revise it, and then they get the lead writing credit, and Gunn gets the story by credit. For example, like, obviously, completely different circumstances, but Ant-Man is... The writers of the movie are credited as Peyton Reed and Paul Rudd, and story by Edgar Wright and Joe Cornish. But it is very heavily based off of a version of their script,
but also,
and then changed.
Edgar Wright and Joe Cornish weren't fired for disgusting tweets
they made 8
years ago.
It's different circumstances, but at the same time, I think that would be their sheepish way to acknowledge that, James Gunn is a big part of why you guys enjoy this movie. So you got a story credit, there you go.
What about
Taika Waititi would fit.
Someone like Taika Waititi mentoring a less experienced director like Karen Gillan, who has first-hand experience of the franchise?
Karen
I know she's got one feature out. But, but then Marvel and other
not
big
with a happy
studios,
ending. She directed The Party's Just Beginning.
Yeah. But Marvel are hardly averse to throwing an indie director into the deep end, and Disney as well. Yeah. So, who knows?
But then again, it depends on if Karen would be willing to do it.
Yeah,
considering she seems to also be of the mindset of, how dare you fire James?
Yes.
So, we'll see.
Finally... we've got 2 from this Daniel, but I'm only going to do 1 because one we've not got time and the other one's non-SDCC related. So we're going to do the SDCC related one this month. This week.
Well, technically, this month. Next month we'll do that.
Yes, we'll do it next month. Which ties into stuff we've already said, so I think we can cover this quite quickly. To be read as Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to glorify his abuser's take on a beloved children's character.
Every choice I made in this movie is questionable.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I may not phrase this very well, but here we go. I can't read this email in that voice. It's
not even picking up on the mic for starters.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I may not phrase this very well, but here we go. In the same week that James Gunn was dismissed for his tweets, Johnny Depp appeared on stage in Hall H in full character and was applauded and celebrated despite his past behaviour, including domestic abuse.
Alleged.
I was wondering if you, Jant, had any thoughts about the strange double standards that are cropping up in the nerdy circles of Hollywood. How can one man be fired for old tweets, admittedly vile, and another be lauded despite more recent physical abuse? Thanks for giving my wild ramblings your attention. And I think we've covered this pretty well. But I think it's bullshit. Like, I absolutely think that it is bullshit. There are certainly degrees of offence. There is definitely a gulf between physical and emotional abuse of your spouse over a period of time and making shitty jokes about rape and paedophilia on Twitter.
But I think as far as the overall blanket of controversial acts and situations being people picking or choosing whether to gloss over, acknowledge them or not. Yeah, there is a bit of a double standard for that going on in mainstream Hollywood at the moment.
I cannot get my head round
it's
why
the Woody
Disney...
Allen. It's the Woody Allen debate.
Fucking hell, the Woody Allen and Roman Polanski thing.
Yeah.
Sort of the Woody Allen invulnerability clause, where no one seems to be able to call him out on his bullshit, despite being just the creepiest, sexually deviant motherfucker on the planet. And Roman Polanski, who raped a child and is not allowed back in the US.
And yet actors will work with them.
Yeah.
Because, again, admittedly, phenomenal filmmakers, but why would you want to support them when you know what they've done? That's the thing. And unlike Gunn, who, for example, essentially did something that was distasteful, but was ultimately a freedom of speech thing and was based around humour, terrible humour, but humour nonetheless, and has grown as a person very visibly and also acknowledged and apologised for it.
Yeah.
These people have not done those things, and yet, you get actors who worked with them in the past before some of the stuff came to light, or before most of it came to light, and have said they regretted doing it now.
Yeah.
Others who've said, I don't regret working with them at the time, because of course I didn't know, but I would never work with them again.
Yeah.
I think but there is that double standard of it all.
The industry is beginning to realise something, that morality is more important than prestige.
Yes.
Which, up until recently, prestige was the currency of Hollywood, and to a lesser extent, British film and British TV and theatre. And morality was always took a backseat to prestige and impressing the right people and getting the right job. And I think we're in a position now where people are starting to be a lot more willing to call out the people in positions of power, regardless of what it's going to cost them professionally, because they realise that those people aren't as powerful as they were, because the barrier to entry to creating your own work and to getting other work is lower. Admittedly, still too high for some to overcome, and it helps if you have a bit of clout behind you all to start with. But we are seeing more of these people use that clout to call out the bullshit that's going on, which is, I feel, very important. And I think there is absolutely a double standard. But also, James Gunn wasn't fired because of his tweets. He was fired because Disney chickened out when a right-wing smear campaign came after them. This would not have happened if Mike Cernovich hadn't whipped up a bunch of people into a fake frenzy, because Disney already knew about this. Disney already knew that he tweeted those things. Disney already knew that he apologised for them. Disney already knew that he had moved past it. Unless there's some secret abuse that we don't know about involving James Gunn, but the amount of people who've come out and supported him,
or even just a change of ownership or management within Disney itself, where the new person doesn't agree with the thing, or didn't even freaking acknowledge the apologies.
But the amount
and
of
stuff,
people who've come out in support of James Gunn, who've worked closely with him, doesn't seem to hold up that theory. So it seems like what's happened is Mike Cernovich has weaponized morality, and Disney just chickened out. They've got no spine, and it's pathetic. Personally, I think, because it sets a dangerous precedent that you can't improve as a person, you can't get better, and yet Johnny Depp is still considered a bankable star, and people are still defending his casting when it's alleged, but it's all but known.
It's not. You don't want to tell stories about family and love and all that shit with that as your face of it. You don't want that as your poster child for it.
There's enough evidence out there to suggest that he was abusive towards Amber Heard.
In some way.
Some way that we shouldn't be giving this guy a platform. It's ridiculous. He's not even that good anymore. He's past it. He's past his peak. He's ruined himself with what... The guy's clearly got some demons to work through, and he's letting him destroy him, and it's showing in his work. And regardless of whether that was the reason for his being abusive, or whether he's just abusive because he's a shit, Dude needs help. He does not need to be the star of your franchise. He needs to go to fucking rehab and get some help. Whether or not he can improve as a person is down to him, but we shouldn't be propping him up as a role model for people, for fuck's sake. We should be propping people like James Gunn as a role model up for people because they improved themselves. They changed themselves for the better. If you go back into mine, Chris's past, I have no doubt you'll find some stupid, misjudged shit that we said. I probably did it last week. I don't know. But you have to let people better themselves. Otherwise, what's the point? They're not gonna. And we're fighting a battle every day of ideology. Of the right versus the left, of the new rise of white supremacy and fascism. It's not... If we allow them to weaponize our morality against us and have them judge each other by standards, have us judge each other by standards that they themselves do not adhere to, then we are going to lose. And that's a thing that's bigger than Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a thing that's bigger than James Gunn. It's a thing that's bigger than any movie studio. It's an ideological battle at the centre of our culture. And we can't allow ourselves to be hoisted by our own petard. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous what we're falling into now. And it starts with little things like this, and it snowballs out from there, and it's worrying. That's what I think.
This next email is from Thomas, and Thomas asks, "What's your favourite kind of cheese?"
Yeah.
Well,
all art is political.
San Diego,
even comedy is political.
That is true. San Diego Comic-Con roundup. We've talked some pretty serious issues this week. We've also talked about shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about shit that doesn't matter, or some of the serious stuff,
yeah, please, either. I'll take either.
We would love. I mean, we'd love to hear discussion, like things that can birth discussion and disagreements, healthy disagreements, and things like that are worth like talking about. So,
some of the bitches dug in like an Alabama tick.
I finished the tick this week, funny enough. Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Loosely related. BigDamnContact@gmail.com. At Big Damn Cast on Twitter. Of course, you can find the Big Damn channel on YouTube. If you're not already listening to us on the podcast app, you can do that. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, don't worry. You can download us directly to your phone or your tablet.
Also, twitch.tv/BigDamnStream. I'm on at least once a week. I try and do more. Depends on our schedule.
Abso-bloody-lutely.
Yeah.
So to finish off, let's all fly a kite up to the highest height. I just remembered that Christopher Robin's out next week.
That looks good. Yeah, it looks nice. That's
something to look forward to.
Let's go and watch Christopher Robin.
Let's go right now.
Okay.
It's not out yet.
I'm gonna go anyway.
Bye everyone. Bye. Christopher Robin. Winnie the Pooh. Sorry. Saw screen grabs earlier this week where he's fading away and the caption says, "Christopher Robin, I don't feel so rubbery in my